I'm going to start in the center back. A layered bob is a triangular shape. That means it gets longer and heavier towards the front within the inside. Obviously, I've put the outline in here so that stays as is. Or it doesn't if I layer it in the wrong place. So that's the key thing here, is to layer from the right location so that you don't lose this front area. What tends to happen with these haircuts is we have this nice bob line all the way through. We layer the back, it looks great. But then we come into the front and all of a sudden this length jumps up and it becomes very transparent. So it goes from looking like very Kardashian to very Golden Girls like that, you know what I mean? So you've got to be careful with this situation. So again, it's all about knowing. So let me just set up the section first down the center and I can explain exactly what needs to happen. Right, let's bring her down a bit. So I take my vertical section. Now, in this section that I've got here, there's many different places. Let's do this, let's get that out of the way. That I could use. See that shortest hair right there, that's my outline. So I could technically use that and maintain this length. But you see what happens, guys, it will be okay for about an inch. Then the hairline comes up and over and around the ear. So that's where it starts to change. So I need to find a place in here where I know that I'm not going to lose the front. It's really simple. Look, this is the weakest point of the front. That's the hairline. If I work back, all the way back, everybody has this common symmetry. That's the occipital ridge. So I know that if I get a guide lower than the occipital, I risk losing the front. If I use the occipital, I know that the length of the occipital is the same length at the hairline in the front. So I'm going to maintain. Because guys, if this hair gets cut, it's game over. I've made a mistake. I've already established my outline, so this hair right here should not go any shorter. So I now know that to use my occipital or higher. Now, if I do get a guide higher, all it's going to do is make my outline heavier. The lower I get my guide, the weaker the outline is. You know when you see a layered bob, sometimes that outline's quite wide and thick. That means they got the guide higher up the head. There's less layers, all right? The lower you go, the weaker this can become. So it's up to you. You make that decision. Now you know why and how. So let's bring her down so that I'm not too stretched. 90 degrees, straight out from the head. And I'm going to cut what's known as a convex layer. I'm going to follow the contour of the head shape above the occipital ridge there. So that's my occipital. So I'm going to use that as a guide. So I could actually let a little bit of that drop out for good measure, for safety, and I use that as a guide, and I cut the convex layer. Now what that's created is this corner right here. That corner is my outline. So that's the strength of the outline. So if that corner is higher up, the outline's even heavier.